Fifi. This is Sal Sawler. Thank you so much for asking me to do this. So I'm going to start answering your question. I live in a part of Nova Scotia that's really close to the ocean. If I pointed this camera at the window, you might even be able to see it. So I'm lucky enough to be able to walk to it if I want to. And on those really hot days in the summer, sometimes I can even smell the ocean in the air, and it's just really lovely. So that definitely came into play when I was doing When the Ocean Came to Town. My partner also grew up in Hubbards and on the South Shore in general, so we spend a lot of time there. And when I wrote When the Ocean Came to Town, it was those towns that I had in mind, those and the areas around Peggy's Cove. I'm going to stick to people who write for children and youth just to narrow it down a little bit, but even then definitely going to leave a bunch of people off because otherwise I'd be talking for a really long time. So I'll start with Andre Fenton, Jack Wong, Joe Trezziari, Tom Ryan, Angela Reynolds, Chad Lucas, Lauren Saloy, Wanda Taylor, Sherry Fitch, and Shantae Grant. And again, there are so many that is just a very small list, but that's who I wrote down when I was looking at your question. So I did have a tough time with this one, but in the end I went with Lean on Me, partly because it's a classic. Everybody knows that song, right? And it's such a good kind of teamwork community song, and that's what When the Ocean Came to Town is really about. It's just about a community that faces something that's really hard, and they can only get through it by working together and leaning on each other's strengths and asking for help when they need it. And that's exactly what Lean on Me is about. It was one of the only songs I could think of that was just about like friendship and community and resilience and helping each other. Every other one that I could think of had like an element of romance to it or something like that. But this one is really just about working together. And I also love the fact that it talks about being able to ask for help, because I think that's really something that we all need to learn, to do a little better, because I think so many times we all try to carry these things all by ourselves, but we can ask for help. We do have other people around us who care, and I like the fact that the song brings that in. I would give them three things. I'd give them a library card, I'd give them some time, and I give them a writing tool of some kind. So the writing tool, it could be whatever they need to write. It could be a laptop, could be a notebook and pen, a voice-to-text software, whatever they need. Because the key to becoming a writer is really just reading and writing a lot. So I would want to remove any barriers that they might have to doing that. So, the library card gives you access to all kinds of books. Having your preferred writing tool gives you the ability to write. It's tricky for me because, I think it's finding a level of consistency in my writing practice. So a lot of writers write a little bit every day, but I have ADHD, so that's really difficult for me. But I do think deeply sorry, I'll start over. I do think deeply about a lot of things. So I tend to do a lot of that writing in my head without even realizing it. And that's something that I would actually tell people in general, that writing is not just sitting down at a keyboard or sitting down with a piece of paper and a pen. Like the things that we experience while we're living every day, that's a lot of that counts as writing too. But yeah, so when I'm ready to write, I sit down and I write and write and write. So basically I hyper focus. And when that happens, my family basically has to throw things at me to get my attention. And so I go through these fits and starts, right? Like I'll go and do a whole bunch of things and be thinking about all kinds of interesting things. And somehow like pieces of a book will start to form in my head. Then when I'm ready, I just get this like an almost tingly feeling like I need to sit down and write. And then I write and write and write and write, get it all out. And of course, then I revise and edit. But for me, it's like fits and starts. And it seems to work, but sometimes I think that, if I could establish a regular writing routine, then I'd have a lot more books out in the world. But on the other hand, if I did that, I wouldn't have time for all the other things I love to do. My latest book is When the Ocean Came to Town, but I'll spoil a little bit about my next book, which is going to be called Ellis on Guard. And it's coming out in about a year. I don't want to say too much yet, but it is another picture book, and it's about a young person with anxiety who taps into some special talents to save a lost dog. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks again, Fifi. Bye.